Welcome to Livingston, our podcast where we invite local businesses, people, and organizations to talk about what they are giving to our community.
As real estate professionals with the Putella Group, we bring valuable insight into the local market and community every week.
Thanks for listening, and welcome to Livingston. Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the Welcome to Livingston podcast. My name is Don Putella.
And I'm Angela Putella, and we're with the Putella Group Real Estate Professionals. And this podcast has been brought to you by Jim Paquette with Lake Michigan Credit Union.
Yes, and we are just so excited about today's episode. Today with us, we have Sarah Fierk with Legacy Gymnastics.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, we are just so excited to hear about what you have going on down there. I mean, Legacy is everybody knows about it right off the freeway, but there's just so much going on in there that people might not realize.
For sure. And there's always something new popping up in different programs. And we actually just hit 1 year for our gymnastics program. So it's pretty exciting to see the growth and all the different kids that we got to see throughout the year. So.
Awesome. So what are some of the types of things that you're doing with the gymnastics and classes and so forth?
So our entire program is gymnastics, tumbling, and trampoline. So we have a lot of different things encompassing our program. As far as gymnastics goes, we have from ages walking, as long as they're walking and they can participate, to probably about 18 years old. But we do have, we had somebody inquire about wanting to try out for the Savannah Bananas, and he wanted a private lesson. And I don't know, I think he was like 20 maybe. But so just different things like that. We're pretty accommodating to anybody that's interested in learning flips or how to land safely and just getting kids involved. So not only with gymnastics, but the tumbling aspect as far as cheerleading goes. And then trampoline, it's growing. We have some great coaches, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, because those trampolines are pretty major over there in Legacy, right?
They are, yeah. And we have some Olympic trampolines too. So I'm huge on safety. So like I'll let my little ones, my 2-year-olds go on the little trampoline, but then the Olympic trampoline, you can get up super high. And as a mom, I can't do that anymore. But there's a lot of different tools, I guess, that we can teach different skills.
Wonderful. So in terms of gymnastics, so you guys have all the different equipment then they're able to do, or what do you have?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So because of the space that we have, we are more focused on recreational gymnastics. So I want kids to be able to walk across the balance beam. So we have like school age equipment.
Right.
We have, a small uneven bar that we can use. And we have like a strip of spring floor. We have a place where they can warm up. So we do the best with what we have, and our kids seem to have a great time, but it really is more about coordination, listening skills, following directions, that strength that you get. I mean, it's recreational. So.
Yeah, the flexibility, right. And these are great skills. Since there's so many different sports that different kids are in, the thing I've always loved about gymnastics is because it really lends itself to, a nice kind of cross training and just
absolutely.
Getting yourself moving.
Yep. Both of my kids have been in gymnastics since they were able to walk. And I do remember, I tell some of the parents, my daughter cried for 6 weeks straight. It was 6 weeks. And I'm like, you are my kid. Like, you should be able to do gymnastics, no problem. And so when the kids are crying, I'm like, it'll be fine, and now she can do a bunch of different things. My son, I will contribute how I would say good he is at hockey currently to gymnastics, because as soon as he could walk, he was learning to fall safely. He was, even walking across the beam for boys. I do think it's really important for the boys to be in it because they're learning that balance and their body awareness. So
right.
I contribute.
Yeah.
I mean,
those are huge skills to just have as a baseline. Mm-hmm. And I feel like in terms of what I've seen with gymnastics, there are a fair amount of boys that do come and participate for the young ones, right?
Yep, especially when they're little, because like you said, it sets the stage for any other sport that they're going to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things I find for those out there that, don't have kids that have gone through gymnastics or haven't really looked at it for the tumbling and everything, it amazes me the core strength that these kids build up, that you don't realize how hard the sport is.
They make it look easy.
They make it look easy, but one, the coordination it takes, but two, just the strength that they build up to be able to do these things.
Yep, absolutely. And right now, because of the capacity that we have, I would refer to another gym that is closer, like if they're getting on a higher level. I would refer to one of our local gyms here because I know a lot of the people. They're all wonderful. We're all friends. And if I'm not able to assist, and they want to go further, definitely go check out another gym,
But-
we'll get there one day, but
Yeah.
for right now.
But yeah, and especially the kids that are just wanting to get started.
Right.
That Legacy is such a great place for that.
Yep. And if kids are in basketball or baseball and their sibling is just sitting there, like, bring them to gymnastics. We want to see them. We want them involved in our program because it is structured, but we do something different every week. We learn a different skill, just let them come and have fun and just be introduced to the sport.
Yeah.
What a great idea, because especially, with having multiple kids, it's so often that you're bringing the little one there and you're like, here's the tablet, sit on the side.
Yeah.
Send them over to you, have them have a nice 1 hour class. And
Yep. Get some energy out.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. Sleep well that night. Just
they
what every
do.
mom wants.
Yes, exactly. And they do. We'll get them tired.
Goodness. Now, how did you get started into gymnastics and all of that?
I was 7. I actually started late as a gymnast. Most kids start, like I said, when they're walking or like 3. But I was 7 and I got involved in it. I grew up in Livonia, so I started at Legacy Center. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, I know where it is.
Yep. So it was just a recreational program there, and then I fell in love with it and went to be competitive, and it just kept going and going through high school, and then
Lifelong passion.
totally.
Right?
Yep. I actually I went to U of M and I wanted to own a gymnastics gym. It was always a dream of mine. And then I realized that business wasn't necessarily my strong suit, so I changed my major. But this has kind of come full circle that I'm able to not actually have to own it, but I can run it and kind of use my dream to be involved in children's lives as
Right.
and
And to help bring the joy of gymnastics to them.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And in terms of, it's neat that your kids are able to participate too.
Yes.
And
Although they do ask to come with mom to Legacy, especially when I'm teaching, and I cannot coach my own children. They are, your mom, and they'll challenge you. And
Right.
I'm like, please let me just teach. And don't, mom, tap me on the shoulder all the time. So no, I'm helping another child right now. Please be patient.
occupational hazard.
Yes, absolutely.
Very cool. So our daughter does cheerleading.
Mm-hmm.
So she's really involved in that, does some tumbling in classes and such.
Currently, right now, in our actual programming, we have an intermediate and an advanced tumbling class. They're running on Mondays right now at 6:30, but things are always evolving and changing. And we'll kind of work with any child on their individual level as any tumbling classes that we offer. And those are mostly in the evenings, so it should hopefully be able to hit some of those cheerleading schedules. I don't know what they are, but when I used to coach cheerleading, I would have it be right after school so that the kids didn't have to go home and come back and all that. But so we're trying to be accommodating to those that can make tumbling later. And then one of our amazing coaches that we have is Stella Marzicati. She is a Brighton alumni, and she is one of the best teachers that I've seen. And she'll do some cheerleading clinics for the little ones or the older ones. We kind of did more of that when it comes to tryout season, just a little prep before. But we're going to be running one around Thanksgiving time. So there will be time for kids to sign up for that.
It's wonderful. Yeah, because it's interesting with, the gymnastics or tumbling. When they're young, they're just kind of learning their balance and learning the skills. And then as they hit that middle school and high school, they're coming in like, I need X.
Yep.
This is the skill I want you to teach me today.
There's specific skills
yeah.
that
Well,
are important.
And those skills take a long time, though. Like I will tell. I mean, some kids learn. All kids learn differently.
Right.
But I would say on average, the average skill takes about a year. So if you're trying to learn your back walkover, it's probably going to take a year. If you're working on your back handspring, it's probably going to take a year. Back tuck. I mean, it's the same thing. Any skills that you're working on, and it depends on how strong you are, and the fear factor and body awareness, because I'll have some cheerleaders that will come and they're like, I'm mental. And I'm like, I don't know how to help you, because
Right.
what if my coach told me to do something, I did it. And I didn't even think twice about it. But nowadays, I mean, it's a lot different. Their mental capacity of this and,
they get
knowing
in
where
their
they
head.
are.
Right.
Totally.
And that's one of the amazing things that, I've learned about gymnastics and tumbling, that you'll see kids that they have the skill and then they get in their heads and they lose the
And they
skill.
won't do it.
And they won't do it. And it's just, I think that one of the great things about going to these classes that you have is that you're learning a mental aspect as well. It's not just about your body.
Right. And one thing that I learned probably about 15 years ago is that it really is mind over matter, because you know you're strong, you know you can physically do it, but your mind is telling you no. So one of the tips that I'll give kids before they go to bed, I'm like, if you're just laying there, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to picture that perfect skill. Let's call it a back tuck. I want you to picture somebody that you know that has the most beautiful, perfect back tuck. And I want you to picture it. Picture it. Do it 10 times in your head. And then I want you to put your face on that body. And I want you to actually put yourself in that position, and you do that. I want you to do the perfect tuck 10 times. And eventually it happens, but it's more like you have to be able to know that you can do it and physically see yourself doing it.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
so powerful. But that whole kind of mind over matter and that visualization.
Yeah. And it works. I mean, I've had kids be like, oh my gosh. And they're like, I don't want to do that homework. But then after they do and it works, you're like, oh, I told you.
Right.
Yeah.
We want to take just a minute really quick to acknowledge our sponsor, Jim Paquette with Lake Michigan Credit Union. He is a great partner to us. If you have any needs in terms of mortgage, refinancing, lending, please reach out to him. And we just wanted to thank him so much for his support of our podcast. Today's episode of the Welcome to Livingston podcast is brought to you by our valued sponsor, Jim Paquette with Lake Michigan Credit Union. He is a trusted mortgage lender who has lived and worked in our community for many years. Jim Paquette is dedicated to helping our neighbors achieve their homeownership dreams and is proud to support the local businesses that make our area special. Now let's dive back into the stories of the incredible entrepreneurs we are featuring today. Wonderful. So one of the things I wanted to ask, because parents, safety is a big concern for parents. And I think you're always fearful of what your kids are doing. And there's so much talk nowadays of concussions and other things. So what kinds of things do you do to just kind of...
Best practices and safety.
Yeah. It depends on the age of the children, but I mean, as soon as they come in, they learn a safe landing where they're landing feet first, knees bent, hands in the front. It's like a safe position. Anytime you're jumping off of anything and everything, that we're going to be jumping, we're going to be flipping, we're going to do all these things, but always safe landing. And so my teachers constantly, safe landing, safe landing, safe landing. And now that I'm a mom, when I used to coach, when I was younger, I didn't emphasize things so much. And I am huge on safety. I always have been. I think it's very, very important to go back to basics, even if it's just for a couple reminders before you're working on these higher level skills. But safety is my number one concern. But now that I'm a mom and my son will want to like do flips on the trampoline, I'm like, like it's like my heart will skip a beat because it's just a completely different level speaking to it as a parent. But it's kind of just reassuring the parents like, hey, they're going to be okay. This is fine. And accidents do happen. I mean, I was coaching 20 years ago. I've seen really not fun things, bones popping out of arms and like just horrible things happen, but they do. And, you prevent them as much as you can, but then when things do happen, you have to, the procedure in place and, we'll take care of it as quickly as we can and knock on wood, nothing really has happened.
And they learn their balance, I guess, on their body, like that air awareness.
Yes.
Right? Because it's interesting. So our daughter, she broke her arm while she was cheering.
It was the first year
Her
cheer.
first tournament,
Yeah.
she broke her arm.
Oh, no.
But the thing is we didn't have a trampoline at home.
Yeah.
And so she worked on us to get the trampoline and finally was like, listen, you have kids that are throwing her 5 feet in the air on, pavement, but
Yeah.
so we're going to get the trampoline at home. But the thing I wanted to get back to is when they start young, they learn that air awareness. Mm-hmm. So it's safer than you think it is because they've started from that small age and they've learned the safe way to do things.
Right. Or how to fall correctly, because that is very important too. For example, if you're tumbling and you're falling backwards, all of your propensity is, going backwards. You are not supposed to put your hands down behind you. That's your natural instinct. You're going to catch yourself, but really think about what's happening there. I mean, your arms are going to lock out and it's going to be not good. So in our basic classes, we're teaching candlesticks, and that position is where your arms are above your head and your toes are up. You're supposed to always fall kind of in that candlestick position and never put your hands behind your back. I will teach that on bars too. If you're swinging on the bars, you're not supposed to let go swinging forward because your feet are going to be in front of you and you're going to want to catch yourself behind you. So it's just, avoiding any of those appendages breaking, but
Yes.
you know, it's the constant reminders of those things.
Right. And those are great life skills.
Yeah.
You know?
Actually, when I was studying in college, I came across this article that has stuck with me for, I don't know, 15, 20 years. And it was this woman who was a gymnast her entire life, and she got hit by a car, and she was flown across, and because she like learned how to roll out, it saved her life. And I've never forgotten that story. Yeah.
Wow.
That's just amazing.
It is.
You know?
It is. The random things that you don't think about. Or the stuff in our yard. We had this huge beach ball that's bigger than my kids. It's a big blow up thing. And my son was running and he flew across it and like bounced off, but he rolled out. And any other kid who wouldn't have had this training, and he was probably 3 at the time, he tucked his head and he rolled out. But other kids would, you know, keep their head up, and it just a safety concern, like something really bad could have happened.
Yeah. So safety in life and the
Totally.
things that you learn. And I'll tell you, it was just that first year with her. And what it was is, as a flyer, they would have caught her leaning back, but she ended up tipping forward. Her you know, her ponytail ended up in her face, and she didn't see where she was, so she tipped forward. But even with, and it was like the most minor of casts, I think it was just the slightest. But she was still, you know, cheering, wanted to be there for every practice, and like using her other arm, right? And even by the end, you know, it was cute because they still like lifted her up just a little bit, because she just still like, break my other arm. I don't care.
You don't want to be sitting out. It's fun.
Yeah,
you know, it becomes your life.
Right. Just something to be so passionate about, right?
Yep.
So in terms of your classes, what are the class sizes?
My typical ratio is 6 to 1. And usually on my little ones, if I have a 2 to 4 year old class, I do like to have an assistant in there just to be able to help, because that kid's attention span is, oh, squirrel over here. Oh, a ball. So it is hard to wrangle that age, but, and you know, from 4 to 7, for sure, a 6 to 1 ratio per coach.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And then we'll have different classes running at different times, or at the same time. So we'll have like a 2 to 4 year old group, and then a 4 to 6 year old group. And then they'll be running at the same time. And we've established a way to rotate around so that every child gets to hit every event. And we just have a nice way of doing things and working around that.
Awesome. Now, do you have any advice for beginners? You know, any parents that their children have, you know, kind of expressed interest, or maybe not even?
Yeah, I'm very biased, but but any sport that they're going to do, gymnastics is that foundation. So even if you just try an 8-week class one time, I would highly recommend putting your child in gymnastics. Obviously, I would love to have you at Legacy Center.
Legacy is very conveniently located, right?
It is,
right off
and
the
there's
freeway.
so many different things that you can do. Like you had said earlier, you know, it's, you know, somebody's doing sport over here, bring the sibling over here, and you know, it's a community there. So, you know, all the different programs where we want to help one another as well. So
it runs all year long. So it's not just seasonally certain times.
That's correct. Yep. So we have 8-week sessions that start that first or second week of school. So it runs 8 weeks, and then our next session will be coming up early November, and then that'll run 8 weeks. And you know, the holiday breaks and things like that will coincide, so you'll know if you sign up. You know, it'll send you the reminders, and then there will be another winter session, and then another spring session. And since this is going into our second year, I'm not entirely sure about summer. I want to do summer camps, but it does get a little bit spicy, a little bit hot in the dome. But but safety is the number one concern with our athletes. So you know, we'll come to that accordingly.
Right, and great when they start off really young, but it's never too late to get started with something like that.
Never, especially if your kid is just wanting to get into something. You know, it's the camaraderie. It's you know, the high fives and the smiles, and it's just the confidence that gymnastics builds. Even if it's just, hey, you pointed your toes for the first time, great job, high five. You know, it's little things
victories.
like that. And every child is different, so you know, we want to tailor to everyone.
But to be able to build each one up is really, I mean, that's something that's huge, because it's something they feel and they know as they accomplish whatever it is that they're trying to do.
Right.
Yep, we want every child to leave with a smile on their face, no matter what.
So, and I want to ask so kids love trampolines.
Yes.
So in terms of when you guys are teaching things on the trampoline, what kinds of things are you teaching there?
So normally it's just 10 jumps in a row, because even at the competitive level, they're doing 10 jumps in a row and then stopping and getting off. So we always, have the little ones, we'll have them count, jumping and landing on their safe landings. Because if you're jumping out of control, if you just land in that position, you will stop and you're just done. It's like the most basic way to stop and land safely. So always focusing on safety. We'll do straight jumps, tuck jumps, straddle jumps, pike jumps, half turns, seat drops, a bunch of different things that, you can always add a half turn into a seat drop. And these basic skills lead into higher skills. And then our coach right now, Jack, he is a pretty high level, I think he was high level gymnast, but he's also really proficient in teaching trampoline, and he's just awesome right now. So he helps the higher level kids and, working on double backs, double fronts, and, a lot of these trickier skills.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great thing to point out, that it's not even just the beginners and little kids. You guys do offer
Advanced.
for advanced. Do you guys do private lessons in some cases?
We do private lessons. I actually get a lot of inquiries about that. It is a little bit costly, but again, it's, the one-on-one time, which is what everybody wants. But the hard part is, at least with my schedule, I have kids, I have a full-time job. This is my fun job. Yeah. So I go when I can. So private lessons with me specifically would be sporadic and, kind of hard to pinpoint. But I will ask my coaches, but a lot of them are in athletics as well. So they'll either have practices and not be able to get there earlier enough, because our classes do come first. So if we have class time established, we will do private lessons either before or after. And then sometimes on Saturdays, but it just kind of depends on the schedule of my
They have
coaches.
some flexibility, but the expertise is there.
Correct.
So whatever it is that you need support on for people that are into gymnastics, and then since we know the cheer things, I had no idea with her getting into cheerleading how important gymnastics and tumbling and all that was.
Yep.
It's such a big element to it.
Yep. Strength and safety.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So that is very cool. So, and you guys, Legacy is such a big complex, and in terms of the gymnastic or tumbling parts of it, are people able to host parties, or what kinds of things do you guys offer in that with the tumbling?
We do have birthday parties that we can offer because we are a newer program. Like back in the day, I used to do them all the time. We would have back-to-back ones on Saturdays and, sometimes on Sundays. So it's really not come to fruition yet. Not that we don't offer them because we do. And I actually would love to start doing some field trips during the day and having, different daycares or things come in, even if it's just for an hour or something.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember doing those, and it gets the kids involved, gives them a little taste of it. And, we want them to be involved in gymnastics. It's so important for physical health and fitness. So.
Right.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with the kids is you can see their self-confidence grow. I mean, just,
Yes.
when they hit those new skills, or even something as simple as a little kid learning a cartwheel. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, they get so excited that they have to show everybody, I know how to do a cartwheel now. And you can just see that confidence, and it cascades into other things.
Yes. Yep. It's so cute. And then when you see them out in public too, they're like, oh, coach, watch this. And I'm like, please don't do that right here. But it's cute.
Oh, so much fun.
It is.
And so there's a lot of different courses that are offered in these different time periods, basically.
Yes.
Right.
We're pretty consistent, though. I mean, we want to make sure that kids can get out of school in time and maybe have a snack and then get to gymnastics. And then the earlier in the day, we'll do the younger kids because they tend to go to bed earlier. So we'll, hit the little ages and then accommodate to, the different levels that we can. We have classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Fridays are off. And then we have classes Saturday mornings, and then Sundays are off as well. So.
And your classes are all about an hour long then?
Depending on the age, they're either 50 minutes or 55 minutes.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that attention span for the little ones has got to be tough sometimes.
It is, and that's why we want to make sure that, we'll do our warm-up, and then, we'll do 5-minute rotations because, hey, we're going to cycle around 3 times in our circuit and then move on to the next one because you're right, attention span is just, they want to go over here and do this and go right up to the trampoline. You're like, no, it's not trampoline time. Trampoline is closed. It's closed. So it's cute, though.
Goodness gracious.
Wonderful.
Great. Now, what other questions do people call with, or?
Honestly, it's mostly private lessons. Okay. Those are the questions that I get the most. I did have a conversation with a mom not too long ago about her autistic son and wanting to get involved and wanted to know class sizes and what we offer. And so I do offer trial classes because I want the kids to come and get in the door. I don't want anyone to pay for anything that they're not going to be comfortable with. So I do offer like a free trial, but then if you sign up for classes, then I would ask that you do pay for that class that you had done the trial in. But I'm not opposed to that because, we want the kids to be comfortable. We want them to like it. And, we want them to continue on.
Right. So at that point, it's a risk-free opportunity.
Essentially,
so
yes.
If you don't like it, you haven't wasted money on it. But if you do, then that gave you the opportunity to try it out.
Absolutely. Yep. And we are, compared to other gyms in the area, we're on a more efficient payment schedule when it comes to, time and expertise. So we want to be able to work with.
And I feel like
customers.
parents in general, the financials are such a big thing because you're hit from all angles. So
it is.
At least if the financials are a better element with you, then that's something that sets things apart.
Yes.
No, our kids are always involved in so many things. It's amazing nowadays of like all the different places you're taking them and the different things they're involved in. But again, I like the idea of this being a core foundation for so many other things. Whether you're in basketball, football, hockey, there's great benefit in learning that balance. And I never thought about the whole thing of learning that skill for when you fall later in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's a neat thing. And I know we've touched on Legacy a lot. We know what it is, obviously, but maybe there's some of our listeners out there that aren't familiar with Legacy. So would you be able to speak to that for a moment about where is Legacy and what is it?
So Legacy Center is a gigantic complex off of 23 in Livingston County. And pretty much any sport that you want, Legacy does offer. So there's different buildings that host different athletics. So, for instance, we are in the Dome. There's a huge soccer field in there. There's a football field. There's baseball outside. There's new pickleball courts. There's a fitness center. Literally, you name it, and that sport is at Legacy Center. And it's very accommodating. The staff is incredible. Everybody, works really well together. And at the end of the day, we all want the children to succeed, and that. It's hard to say that and think about that and wrap your brain around it because it is such a big complex and everybody just thinks it's just a money pit or whatever. But these coaches and this leadership really care about all of these children and these athletes. I mean, it's incredible to be part of such a wonderful group of people.
Oh, yeah. And if you're there during the summer, the amount of baseball that goes on outside there is just insane. And then it was about 8-9 years ago, I had a client call me at 10 o'clock at night. He goes, "What are you doing tonight?" I go, "It's 10 o'clock. What do you mean?" He goes, "Can you come to Legacy at midnight?" And I was like, okay. So in the Dome, they were running drone races.
Really?
Yeah, so they put
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
But they were like put on the 3D helmets and they were running like you would have like NASCAR, but they were drones in the air going
cool.
around. So it's amazing, like things that you wouldn't think of. But Legacy is just so involved in the community. And there's the point is there's so much going on there that if you have something that you're looking for in terms of sports or anything, gymnastics, that's the place.
Yeah, well, and I love that you don't have to be part of the Brighton district or have to be, in Livingston County. I mean, these are classes that are available to anybody that has the interest in this.
That's
right?
correct. And I believe that we pull from maybe 50 miles out. Like there are people coming from all over because Legacy offers so many things. And so, I mean, the possibilities are endless for how many kids, come into these programs.
Wonderful. Yeah. So if someone was looking to see what classes they could sign up for, where do they find that information?
Anyone can visit legacycentermichigan.com. And there's other Legacy Centers, but legacycentermichigan.com is the website that you would go to. And there's all the different sports on there. But come and find me. Scroll down to the gymnastics one, and then all the offerings are right there on the website.
Excellent. All the different classes, it's all spelled out there.
Yep. And then follow us on Facebook or Instagram. It's Legacy Center Gymnastics for both of them. We do like coach updates. We'll do new skill alerts. So some of our tumblers, if they're getting that back walkover that they took a year to get, we're posting those on there, and it's so fun to see, your kid highlighted, but then you're like so proud, and it's so wonderful to see. So all those exciting new skills are, on there, and any updates, and definitely follow
I
us.
love that personal touch. That is really nice, really fun.
It is.
And I love that you guys are doing so much with gymnastics, just in terms of all the different levels. And
Yep, we want anyone and everyone. Come and join us. Yep, we have a good time.
excellent. Good. Well,
Wonderful.
thank you so much for joining us today, Sarah. I mean, this has really been fun to just deep dive in everything that you're doing over there. And gymnastics
Thank you guys so
is
much.
something near and dear to our hearts that, in retrospect, I wish we had gotten all of our kids involved in it and started
Yes.
much earlier.
Yes.
No, exactly. No, our daughter, our son, who's a senior, wanted our daughter to teach him how to do a tuck, and she's like, "You just can't go from not doing anything to
Oh my
do a
God.
tuck. You're going to kill
nice
yourself."
Try.
Right.
Nice try.
Right. I do have people in my professional career that are like, hey, can you teach me a flip? I'm like, yeah, I can, but I want you to come in so that we're safe.
You got to start at a low level, work
Right.
your way up.
Yep.
So,
Let's teach you a backward roll first, or a
Exactly.
forward roll. That's where we got to start.
Exactly. So you should have some lessons for adults to be like, okay,
Right.
anybody that really was curious about it,
yes.
Yep, come and join.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe
Yep.
thing. So cool. Well, thank you again for taking the time. And for our listeners out there, we hope that you've enjoyed what you've heard today, and like and subscribe and check out some of our other episodes.
Yeah, definitely check out Legacy Center and get your kids involved in gymnastics, because it's a lifelong skill that you're learning there.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, and
And welcome to
Livingston.
Livingston.